So, one of the things about me in the Whitabetes clinic is we need to know the details, okay? Things got to add up. Otherwise, it's just going to be some hawker shit to me, all right? One of my biggest pet peeves is intellectual laziness. I don't like that. I don't like the spread of information that is technically wrong. I don't like that. It really pisses me the fuck off. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, okay? So I'm gonna clear some shit up, okay? Because a lot of people are out there regurgitating Gomes de Zarara created racism, and he did not. Okay? Something else that's very important to me is understanding the difference between an ideology and a system. Okay? So, ideology plus a construct equals a system. The ideology, the myth of white supremacy, right? That's an idea. The construct is race. The system is racism. Okay? And I'm hoping to get some of you honkers out of the twilight zone with this video. Alright? And maybe also clearing up some white illusions amongst every fucking body. Okay? When someone says some interesting shit in a live, go double check. Because they may not know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay? So, ideology. I like the bottom one. The idea and manner of thinking, characteristics of a group, social class, or individual. Okay? The honkies all share the same ideology. Well, raised to share the same ideology. Construct. It's to build something. Okay? And they had to build race. And now we got the system. A set of things working together as parts of a mechanism or an interconnecting network. Okay? So it's like multiple parts moving together. Now, the ideology created the system, and that system was exclusion. It excluded people, black people. I left out humanity because that's the main one, but this is over time. This is what's going on over time, see. And omission, this is what's omitted from their culture, their ideology, and all that kind of stuff. They don't have this in there. So violence to me comes in many different ways. We got the physical violence with the police force. We got the intellectual violence with the educators, spiritual violence with the religious leaders, the white politicians, systemic violence, again, physical violence with the physicians, economic violence with the white businesses, and then we got the white culture that is just violent. Okay. And this is how it ends up affecting us, see. We get anti-blackness in our community, willful black erasure that includes colorism and featureism and misogynoir. We see that a lot with a lot of black men that only date white women. We got the capitalism, the individualism and exceptionalism, money over humanity, self-enrichment, crabs in a bucket, misogynoir. That's what's going on with us because of the honker shit. Okay. Now, Gomes de Zarara idea. Invented the ideology, anti-blackness, okay? That's the foundation of the system, all right? His writing cemented Henry, the monarch, his legacy. Because he's the one that created the systems. Gomes created the ideology, gave that bullshit to Henry, and Henry's like, okay, let's do this. Okay? See, he told him that African people were inferior, reinforcing the idea through violent subjugation. And if you read his honka shit, this is what you will find in there. This is the ideology. There's more, but this is what he's talking about. There was no system he was talking about. He didn't talk about a system. There was no logistics, nothing about a system. Okay? So after Gomes, then we're going to be doing more ideology because these honkies were writing shit and people were reading it and believing it, okay? He had 4 races. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sami people were white. He also believes that little black African girls were more beautiful. Enslaved African black girls. Joanne Winky, he was the father of art history, okay? And we see the hard, pure, white aesthetic that Winckelmann popularized rested on the authority of the Renaissance, making the issue of whiteness versus color more than simply a question of taste. Okay, so we're building a system out of an ideology, all right? And you get a whole bunch of honkies over a 200-300 year period talking shit. And he described Native Americans as white men in America without beards. And we got Carla here. He has the 4 races. Here's Asian and African. And the monstrous people, which included the honkies. Okay. Charlie White said that we're different species. Buck is the one that we use the 5 races today. And Buffon said Adam and Eve were white. Benji over here said we had a skin disease called Negroidism. Christopher Miners had 2 races, and this is what the Schnazis built off of. And we got Jefferson over here saying black people require less sleep. Here's another one talking about our skin is like a huge freckle caused by bile. Georgie had 3 races, rated for their beauty and ugliness, meaning subjective feelings. And he connected us to monkeys. And with their credentialism, they can provide the ideology needed to create whiteness and white supremacy. And Artie over here, he got 3 races. And the white race originally possessed the monopoly of beauty, intelligence, and strength. You see him? And this honky here, he believed Negroes were related to the ape. And again, separate species from the whites. And Herbert, some more honky shit. And who Hitler looked up to, and his book was Hitler's Bible. He helped craft immigration restriction and anti-miscegenation laws. And Madison Grant here was a eugenicist, and he was responsible for getting Ota Benga here, the Congolese man that was displayed along apes in the Bronx Zoo. Yep. And if you couldn't read these books, you could go to the zoo, and the image would reinforce white supremacy. Now, before Marion Sims, father of gynecology, there was this honka. Our desire for freedom and liberation was a mental illness, drapetomania. And he described a condition of genu afflicted in which slaves exacted awe and reverence towards their master. But they could lose that reverence if they treat their slaves harshly and denied basic privileges. I made up another disease here, which we see amongst white people, actually. Basically saying we're lazy. And it was more common amongst free black people. And that white person to direct and to take care of them is needed. And we all know father of gynecology who tortured black enslaved women, Lucy, Anakar, and Betsy. He perpetuated the idea that black people don't experience pain. So medical racism was not created by Gomes, okay? It was created by multiple people. We should also keep in mind the slave owners that sent these women over there because they couldn't do their duties. It wasn't field work or housework they were concerned about. Okay? It was the schmeck's work they were forced to do. And this is P.T. Barnum, you know, the circus. Well, he put this woman in the circus and said she was the epitome of white superiority or whatever the fuck. However, a lot of these women weren't even Circassian, but he said y'all were some suckers. Okay? In another part of the creation of racism, we got the honkies of the Confederacy. Okay. They spread the Whitabetes through the educational system. And images. They put up a lot of those fucking statues of those pussy-ass honky boys. So, I hope that this helps you guys understand how the system of racism was not created by Gomes de Zarara. He created the ideology behind the system of racism. Okay. All donations greatly appreciated and needed. Thank you.